Yeah, I don't ever remember feeling like this. But I'm out here in these YouTube streets. So I want you to get your fingers. I don't know what you're doing. I want you to get your mouse. I want you to check me out. And I want you to check me out. Get ready to do this. It's the relationship rehab. Like, share, and subscribe. We coming at you live. So come on, let's take a ride. Then subscribe to United Guns of America. Just click that link and listen up to what I'm telling you. It's the relationship. Click that link right now. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Brian Redmond, and I just want y'all to subscribe to my channel. You know what I'm saying? I want you to let me know what you think. I'm gonna talk about some things, you can talk about some things, and we can do our thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's all about having a conversation, right? I mean, if we can't talk to each other, then, I mean, what are we really here for? I want y'all to be able to just come over to my channel, talk to me about what's going on with you, and I can tell you what's going on with me, and we can build some things, you know what I'm saying? That's all about growth, baby. So click that link, go ahead and swipe on your phone, whatever you gotta do. Share my content. It's just get me out here, baby. Cause we just talking, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I like doing what I'm doing because it's about the people. It's about us having a conversation with each other. It's about us discussing whatever needs to be discussed. And on these YouTube streets, this is the best place to do it, baby. Like, share, subscribe. That's right. Click the link. Click the link. Yeah. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's out here that's already subscribed. You know what I'm saying? Cause y'all ain't the first one, and y'all ain't the last one. So I just want to give a shout out to everybody that click the link, that click the share, and then subscribe to your boy. Cause we gon' grow this thing together, baby. Relationship rehabbing, United Guns of America. To the world blow up, baby. Yeah. Click the link, baby. Click the link, baby. Yeah. Hey, I just wanted to send a shout out to all y'all. I love y'all. That's why I do this. It's for the love of us, baby. I appreciate all of y'all. Ooh, we gon' do this thing. We gon' do this thing right here, baby. Hey, look, if you at a computer right now, just go ahead and click your link. What else you got to lose, baby? Tell me what you think. Hit the comment section. You can jump on the live panel. We do it all here. That's what it's all about. So come holler at your boy. I've been doing this for years, but I just got onto this YouTube thing. So hey, let's see what it do and where it can go. To United Guns of America. Just click the link and listen up to what I'm telling you, telling you. What's going on? It's your boy Brian Redmond, and I clicked the wrong thing. Hold up. Let's see what I'm doing here. First, let me get my headphones on. There we go. All right. News reporting, yes, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107. All right. Now we good. Okay. Actually, I'm not going to even do that because I was going to do a song, but I changed my mind. All right, so what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Brian Redmond, and yes, we are back for yet another episode of The Relationship Rehab. And tonight, I got a really good one for y'all. We are going to be talking about one of my favorite people in the world. Craig, in the whole wide world. Yes, one of my favorite people.
What you say now, Chuck? And that's a for sure right on.
It's a for sure right on. And that is none other than the great, and yes, I don't call many men great. I don't. I can maybe think of two or three. But definitely this man is a great man and someone who I admire and have looked up to ever since I have discovered him. And that is none other than the great Thomas Sowell. Yes. If you don't know who Thomas Sowell is, shame on you. And now is a great time to
find out who he is. But he is, I believe, I think this year he turned, I want to say he's 90. He's 90 or 91. I think he's 90, if I'm not mistaken. But nevertheless, he is definitely one of the men that I admire. And man, it has just been an honor to just hear him speak and just to hear. I mean, he's such a knowledge of wealth. It's just one of those people where, there's just certain people that are on different levels of just, knowledge. It's like, I know what I know. And yes, as I get older, I believe that I'm very wise for my age. And I believe that was just because I've been around a lot of old people just growing up. I was always around older people. So I kind of caught on to life a little bit faster than others did. And just having, my father be around and him imparting the wisdom that he did over the years, it really made a difference in who I am as a man today. And having such a good mother, and she always looked out for me and wanted to teach me the right way and the right things to do. So it was just one of those things where I've always kind of been ahead of the curve when it comes to that kind of stuff. But Thomas Sowell is on a whole nother level of thinking, and just his wisdom and how he thinks, and the things that he talks about. It's just on that next level of smartness or genius that I like to be around. That I like to be around people and just listening to, the things that they say and how they look at things and look at life and their positions and stuff. It's really, really, really cool to be around people like that. And he's definitely one of my favorite people to be around. And I don't know why I can't get this channel to come up. This thing. Oh, I ain't got it turned on. Duh. I'm trying to get the comments to show up, but it wasn't turned on. I have to turn on the thing that actually reads it first, and then I can click on that, and there we go. All right, it'll be up in a second. But yes, but before I talk about Thomas Sowell, I wanted to talk about something that I have actually been meaning to talk about for such a long time. And shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Please click that like button and make sure that y'all subscribe to Rumble. The Rumble channel is doing good as far as views, but as far as members, I think I only got like 300 or 400, if that. Good drink. Oh my goodness. Ain't nothing like, I don't know, my thing, some good drink to me. I love me some Kettle One and some lemonade, or flavored Kettle One, or that flavored Ciroc with some lemonade, or that I like the watermelon ocean spray, or the cran apple. Oh man, just destined to have a good time, and just, yeah, good vibe. But that being said, I just wanted to talk about something I've been wanting to talk about for quite some time. And me and one of the relationship rehab supporters, and actually one of my brothers that I met from Soto Nation. Shout out to Tommy Sotomayor. But one of the brothers I met from Soto Nation, my man Jason Gunn, we have been going back and forth over this Trump thing, and Trump going to jail and all this kind of stuff. And I just kind of wanted to give my opinion of it real quick, and just talk about the whole thing as far as what took place and what they're trying to charge him with and all of that nonsense. And it's just one of those things to where the technicalities of stuff is one thing, but when you're looking at trying to, incarcerate someone, ruin someone's life, or whatever the case may be, then I think that takes on a whole different type of vibe. It takes on a whole different type of awareness that I think people should be aware from, and it should matter. It really should. So Jason Gunn has been adamant about Trump going to jail, the whole insurrectionist thing, and all of that kind of stuff. And here's my thing. This all stemmed from the election, 2020 election, right? And in that 2020 election, the biggest problem with the election was, and people get this mixed up, and I've been one of the main ones to say this correctly, because words do matter, and what you say and how you say it really does matter. And that's why when people talk about the election and the way that people have said things about the election, and now that we are allowed to talk about it, right? Just that whole part within itself is a show. But now that we're allowed to actually talk about the election, the thing is that people phrase it wrong. And I've heard, a lot of not just Trumpsters or people that support Trump or Trump supporters say it, but just conservatives have said it wrong for quite some time. And the way that the question gets posed is, do you think, and usually this is how they bring it, do you think that the election was rigged or the election was stolen? Or that there was election fraud? So here's my thing. I do not believe that the votes were miscounted. I don't believe that. I believe that whatever those numbers are for the most part fairly accurate. So however many votes that they have said since the election that Joe Biden got, I believe that. I believe that. I believe it. Yep, I'm saying it. I believe that Joe Biden got the election votes that he got. There's a chat. I can see it now. I truly do. However, I do not believe that all of the votes that he got were valid votes. I don't believe that. So everybody that they said voted, are you talking about people going on the record to say that Joe Biden has gotten the most votes ever? I believe that he got the number, but I do not believe that all of those votes are valid, which means I believe, just like when they elected JFK, I believe that dead people voted, and I believe that people voted multiple times. So when they were counting those ballots, I believe they did. I just believe that they counted ballots multiple times, and I believe that they counted ballots of people who should not have voted. I also believe that the machines used to tally the ballots were not accurate. So therefore, not to say that the results were incorrect. I believe the results are what they wanted them to be. I just believe that they were not true in the sense of everyone that voted was an actual person that had the right to vote. That's been my position on the election. So people always say, wasn't no election fraud. All of the court system said there was no election fraud. There was no fraud. No fraud was found. We went to court in 172 different courts. No fraud. I believe that. I believe it. I believe it. However, I don't believe that everybody that voted was eligible to vote. And they counted those votes anyhow. So that also leads us into January 6th. January 6th, and just like how it was talked about back then, and the way that when it happened, which was almost 4 years ago, next month to be 4 years, what took place then and what is just now starting to come to light, which has been over the past maybe 6 to 8 months, the truth is now starting to come out, and it was what everybody said it was. It was a what is the correct word? What would you call that? A conspiracy? I think you would, because it's kind of like, these people conspired to do what they did, and it was set up. It was a setup, and the fact that all of the things that have taken place and that have been talked about in this setup does nothing but validate that, where they talk about the refusal of security, where they talk about the people being planted, the FBI plants, all of that stuff, and how these certain people that are like ringleaders in the whole thing getting started, the insurrection and all that kind of stuff, how they were ushering in the people into I believe that it was all a part of the plan to have the January 16th go the way that it went. Mission accomplished. From the bad shoot of the dude that killed that girl, Bobbitt, is that her name? Ashley Babbitt, all the way down to everybody else. If you look at the footage and if you look at the documentaries that have been done about it, you'll clearly see it. So, yes, entrapment. Thank you, Jackie. It's an inside job, and there was entrapment. The other part to that is what's going on as far as Trump being held responsible for that. There's no way you could hold a person responsible for the words they said and what took place. There's no way that you could hold. The fact that this is even in court lets you know that this is the two-party or two-tier justice system, two different types of justice. It just goes to prove that. And it's like when you talk about the things that people have said, not just Donald Trump, but people have said over the years, and those people saying the things that they said and things have happened, you've never seen anyone charged with a crime because of it. You've had politicians. You've had Joe Biden threaten to assault the president. You had what's her name, Maxine Waters, talking about just go and punch him in the face. You've had politicians alone, not to mention the celebrities that have made violent statements of violence against others. None of them have ever went to jail. None of them have ever been taken into court for it. So with that being said, why are we here with this now? And this whole thing of, well, he was the president and the president could do. President got freedom of speech just like anybody else. He just does. He just does. So it's like with all of those things that's going on, to try to say and try to hold this person accountable for all of this stuff that has taken place and to not acknowledge the bullshit that is behind it, just like how this man was impeached, 3-4 times? Russia. And there was never, ever any conviction. There was never any wrongdoing to be found. How do you look at that and not see into it to say, well, yeah, I think these people just kind of got a hard on for this guy because they don't like him? It's just what it is. The fact that the people that have actually that were actually at the Capitol on January 6th have not only been arrested, but have been jailed and are serving time. The fact that those people are serving time, however, for an entire summer, 3 to 6 months, the amount of crime and looting and destruction of not just public property, but government property. Niggas burned down an entire police station. No arrests made, no convictions, nothing. But we're going after the people from January 6th. Right. So I'm the kind of person to where I understand the law is the law, but I will not support somebody being prosecuted for a crime while someone else who's committed the same crime or a crime that is worse or even more egregious not being prosecuted at all. I will never support that. So that's kind of like my thing with that. It's like, and even now with Colorado trying to take them off the ballot, or they have taken them off the ballot. And I think it was it Baltimore or Maine or somebody else took them off the ballot. Maine. I see what somebody put in the chat, Maine. taking them off the ballot. Like, what? If I want to vote for shit, Curly from the Three Stooges, that's my right. If he's on the ballot, I can write him in on the ballot. How do y'all get to take him off? Do y'all realize what these people are doing to our democracy when it comes to just being able to vote? They suppressed that Hunter Biden shit. They suppressed the COVID shit. They suppressed the election fraud shit. They suppressed all of that. And now y'all gonna tell us who the fuck is gonna be on the ballot or not? This dude is the fucking front runner for the president of the United States. And you got states trying to tell you who you can and can't vote for because we ain't gonna allow him on the ballot. And here's my thing. When you talk about what is it that Martin Luther King said, an injustice against an injustice somewhere is, an injustice against one person is an injustice against all people or something like that. Somebody have straighten me out and tell me what he said. But basically saying you letting it happen wrong, go down wrong here is basically letting it go wrong everywhere. You don't let just the actual laws and the fabric of our Constitution, you don't let those strings get pulled at all because it will begin to unravel. And we have politicians that have been trying to do it for decades. And injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Thank you, Jackie. That's just what that is. And it's like when you see people supporting it, that's the scary part. Because whether you like that man or not, he should still be on the ballot for people to vote for him. Because just because your ass don't like him, don't mean somebody else don't. Or somebody else won't. And next time it may be our candidate that's not on the ballot, but next time it might be your candidate that gets taken off the ballot. That's all I'm saying. UFO Kamikaze, I just realized what you put in the chat, bro. And that is very true. He says, UFO Kamikaze says, I think Jeff Goldblum mimicked Thomas Sowell for his character in Jurassic Park. The speaking patterns and mannerisms are too similar. Bro, it is. It is. That's really something to think about, dudes. See, why I love y'all motherfuckers, man. Y'all always be saying some thought-provoking shit. But, yeah. So that's pretty much my thing on that. And you know, I could definitely have a deeper conversation about it and debate it, but just off the top, that's pretty much where I'm at with it. It's just one of those things to where it's like, you have to have a moral compass enough to say, I may not like this, or I may not like that person, but hey, they should be able to. It's just like how my opinion is on gay marriage. I do not believe, and I'm on the record for saying this, I do not believe that homosexuals should be able to get married in the Lord's church, in the Christian church. The Christian faith is against gay marriage. However, this is America, and I believe that homosexuals should be able to have what will be called a civil union, and they should be able to benefit the same exact way a married couple benefits in America. Same rights and benefits that a married couple have that's married under the Christian faith should be the same exact rights and benefits that they should have living in America under a civil union. The only reason why I say no to why they can't get married in the Lord's church, or they shouldn't, is because it is specifically forbidden? Is that a word? In the Bible. Bible say no. Nope. That's what the Bible say. So with that being said, just because of, and like it's supposed to be a separation of church and state, the state should not be able to tell the church that they can allow this type of union because they have a law that says so. For Bowden. For Bowden, is that it? Okay. Just saying. So it's like, I'm not in 100% support of it, but I understand that they should have a right to not that particular thing, but definitely to the benefits of that particular thing. And that's just kind of like, that's what you call compromise. It's not going against anyone's religion, but it's definitely being fair to where they can benefit just like any other couple that gets married in the Christian faith. They get to benefit from it too. So you have that civil union and you and your significant other benefits, health benefits, death benefits, estates and all of that kind of stuff. All is the same. But yeah. Anyway, a shout out to you, Brielle. I see you said, bro, I was just thinking about you the other day. Just want to wish you well. Let you know I'm doing good trucking. That's good, man. Congratulations, bro. Proud of you, man. You've been doing that for a few years now. Glad to see you stuck with it. And you're getting your money, man. Taking care of your family. Good stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get into the show. I'm going to play this video. And the reason why when I saw this video, it came across my feed. And I saw this video and it really struck a nerve. And it struck a nerve to the point to where I realized like how big of an impact that this is on us. And I kind of want to get you guys' opinion of it too, but I just wanted to be able to elaborate on some of the points that he's made and just to validate a lot of the stuff that he's made, because it's like, this is one of those things to where we talk about us and we talk about the people and we talk about rising up and making a difference and Black community and all of those kinds of things. But it's things like this that we have to be cognizant of and have to acknowledge before we can actually begin to make change. And that's one of the main reasons why I did this video. He said the state is the only one that gives benefits to marriage. The churches need the village to add benefits. I got you, Paul. Thomas Sowell is an amazing man. Yes, sir, he is. Let's go.
The culture in which they grew up was not the culture in which Black kids grew up in America today.
So they had...
There's no gangster rap that was pervasively available in Germany.
Hold on, we're going to read this, niggas. It's not being Black. It's a way of life. Unfortunately, the way of life is being celebrated not only in rap music, but amongst the intelligentsia is a way of life that leads to a lot of very big problems for most people. And let me say this. There are some people who can overcome unsurmountable odds. There are some people, and I'm just saying, like, everybody in your family could be smoking crack, and you can have that one relative, you can have that one sibling, you can have that one whoever that don't do it and go the other way. You can have it to where you have a family of gangbangers. I mean, just gang banging. Smoking that smoke, gang banging. Smokey Robinson's worst song ever is that gang banging, doing that dope. That is the worst song ever. And shame on his people that let him not only, it's okay to record it, but shame on his people who actually let him release that song. But be that as it may, the other part to that is you can have a family that's just notorious for gang banging. It's just what they do. They're born in it, molded by it. By the time they became a man, gangbanging was to them was nothing more than blinding. But there's that one that won't go the gangbanging route. And I bring that up and I say that to say this. In general, we are all products of our environment. Just saying. The greater majority, and I said greater majority of people will do what they're exposed to. What you around and what you grow up in more than likely is what you're going to do and what you're going to be because you've been around it. Products of your environment. The influence of your environment and your family and your friends, it does matter. So you can talk about those handful of people that, like I said, beat the odds, but the majority of our people and the majority of people, they pretty much will follow suit based on what they're exposed to. Just saying.
I mean, the average of black kid today, I think, is probably better off, certainly materially, than say Ben Carson was when he was growing up.
Ben Carson, the famous
Black
surgeon at Johns Hopkins.
Right.
Who is immensely accomplished in every way.
Yes.
Right.
I would say that.
And who is also known in the black community as a coon. Bootlicker. Lame. Why is that? Why is it that Ben Carson, a brilliant brain surgeon, groundbreaking surgical procedures and techniques, I mean, just one of, and just hear me when I say this, one of the greatest minds and most influential people in medicine, not just in this generation, but of all time. Why is he not one of our heroes? Why is it that Ben Carson is not as popular as Puffy? Why is it that Ben Carson, and even Thomas Sowell for that matter, why are these people not celebrated, promoted, propped up, supported, like, I don't know, maybe some of our mega church preachers like T.D. Jakes, like Creflo Dollar? Just to name a couple. Why are those two people that I just named, who are literally accomplished black folks, highly intelligent black folks, why are they not even well known? You can go into any hood and show either one of these people, one of those men pictures, and most people wouldn't even know what they, I would say upwards of 90% of those people wouldn't know who that person was. You take a photo of Ben Carson, take an 8x10 of Ben Carson and an 8x10 of Thomas Sowell into any neighborhood and just ask the young people, not the kids, the young people, teenagers, young adults, people in their, in their 20s, and just say, do you know who these men are? They ain't gonna know. Half of them won't pass. Why is that? But every last one of them motherfuckers gonna know who Sexy Red is. Every last one of them motherfuckers is gonna know who Diddy is. Every last one of them motherfuckers gonna know who King Von is. Every last one of them is gonna know who Lil Durk is. They're gonna know those people, but they won't know these people. And not to say that there's anything wrong with knowing them, but there's no reason why you shouldn't know somebody like this. Why are these people, why is it, and this is another reason why I will not, and hear me when I say it, I will not let my daughter go to an HBCU. Fuck the black experience. I don't give a fuck. Number one reason why I won't let her do it is because they steal the money. They stealing too much of the money. That's what I'll say. All these schools are stealing money, but they're stealing too much of the money. Number two is they don't really promote the smart black people in our generation. Why would someone like Joe Biden be invited to speak at Howard University? Same motherfucker who said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Why would that person be invited to speak at Howard University, the most prestigious black university, historically black university in the fucking world? Why would Joe Biden get invited to speak at that college before a Ben Carson or a Thomas Sowell? What up, Thick Cut? Why? Why would that person be invited over these two people? Those are the things that when we talk about, like, what's wrong with us, it's things like that.
Certainly the black kids who are growing up today have a higher material standard of living than I had. The difference was that the schools were good when I came along. They were especially good in New York at that time, hard as that is to believe. But the kids who grew up in that same place where I lived, they will not get that same education.
And you know why those schools were good then? Does anybody know why those schools were good back then? Those schools were good back then. Well, you know what? I'm gonna give y'all a second. Does anybody know why the schools were better back then than y'all compare now? The reason why those schools were better back then than now, it's because the parents. Yes, Kevin Hutton got it. Family. Family. Mothers and fathers. He said because Jesse Jackson was the superintendent of the school. Boy, Jesse Jackson ain't never been no superintendent of nobody's school. Operation Shakedown is not going to be running the schools. No, he got too many people to shake down than to be talking about we over here at the schools. But it was the parents that were involved in the school system. Parents went and talked to the teachers. Teachers didn't have the discipline problems that they have today because of lack of parenting. Teachers could actually, I know this is going to sound crazy as hell. Just listen to it though. Just listen to it. I know this is going to blow your minds. This shit is going to be crazy. But back then, when he's talking about, and we talking like, 60s, 70s, teachers were actually able to teach. They could actually teach. They didn't have to worry about making Raekwon sit down. They didn't have to worry about Trayvon running around because he hopped up on sugar and shit. He didn't have to worry about that. They didn't have to deal with none of that. They didn't have those problems as far as discipline problems because, yes, and I'm not saying that all the kids were perfect back then, but you didn't act up in school because you didn't want your mama to come whoop your ass. You didn't want your daddy to whoop your ass. Hell, back then, the gym teacher whooped your ass. Back then, you had what they called the school disciplinarian that would whoop your ass. Just saying. Wow, Left Third said Thomas Sowell's first teaching job was at an HBCU. He left after one semester because they said his standards were too high. Ain't that about a bitch? Ain't that about a bitch?
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
They said his standards were too high. Man, come on here now. Come on here now. Yes, Thick Cut. I got my ass whooped. I got my ass whooped by my gym teacher, Mr. Stanton. Whooped my ass. Got me all together. Quick.
Now that can be blamed on somebody, but it has very little to do with what happened 100 or 200 years ago. And it's true in other countries. I mean, in Nigeria, for example, there's a tribe, the Igbos, who are living in one of the least fertile parts of Nigeria, who were in fact enslaved in centuries past by other tribes and so on. When the British moved in and set up schools, the Igbos went for the schools. By the time Nigeria became independent, the Igbos had climbed above the other groups that had been ahead of them to begin with. So, but there are all kinds of cross currents of factors. The particular culture, or the particular geography, you run through the whole list of them.
You cite, in Intellectuals and Race, you cite an observation by the intelligence expert, IQ scientist James Flynn, that just stopped me cold. After the Second World War, you've got large numbers of American troops remaining in Germany. For that matter, there's still several tens of thousands there today. And both black and white American soldiers had children with German women. And Flynn discovered that those children growing up in Germany showed no IQ differences at all.
Wow. Wow. So basically, black folks, and just hear this, because I'm going to bring it home. I'm going to bring this same idea, I'm going to bring it a little closer to home. Black folks that grow up and that are raised outside of the black community thrive the same as those that are in said community, the other community. Let that sit and just marinate for a second. If you can take black people out of the hood, and we're talking about from birth, and put them in an affluent community, they thrive the same. Just brain power. And in some instances, I would even go as far as to say, can excel. It's one of those things to where you have to look at it and say, well, damn, what is it that we are allowing to consistently be done to us in our own neighborhoods that we won't change, that is keeping us in the same perpetual loop of all of the fuckery and debauchery that's going on in our communities today?
The black kids and the white kids, the same. Quoting Intellectuals and Race, Professor Flynn concluded that the reason was that the offspring of black soldiers in Germany, and now you're quoting Professor Flynn, grew up in a nation with no black subculture. Yeah. Close quote.
No black subculture. So it wasn't no, this what black folks do. This what keeping it real is. When you have black kids that grow up in a culture that has no sub-black culture, they thrive. You ain't gotta like it, but you gotta acknowledge the truth in that. Basically saying, when black people don't grow up around nigger shit, they tend to be better for it. Statistical data proves it.
Which means what? Which means they experienced exactly the same expectations. Is this the
No. The expectations are external. The culture in which they grew up was not the culture in which black kids grew up in America today.
So they had.
There's no gangster rap.
Uh-oh. Gangster rap. And here's my thing. Have to acknowledge it. When you talk about gangster rap, when you talk about street rap, you talk about trap music, you talk about drill music, you talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about as far as the music that we listen to today, you can't tell me and you cannot deny the fact that it plays a part and it has not only an effect, but it has a negative effect on us, on our young people, our young people's minds. It literally fucks up their way of thinking. Same thing with twerking music. The fact that you put on a certain beat, the fact that you hear a certain drum cadence, and instantly women get to twerking their ass, shaking their ass, sticking their tongue out and gyrating their hips. It lets you know how influential it is. When was the last time you heard somebody say, "Ooh, that's my song," and started dancing ballet? Black folk. When was the last time you heard that? They don't, do they? They stick their tongue out, turn their head to the side, bend their knees, and poke their ass out. Tell me if I'm wrong. Stop me when I'm lying. And even so, Aeon said, Tuflux said, old gangster rap is awesome though, damn it. Yes, but here's the difference about gangster rap. When we got exposed to it when it first came out, we weren't children. We weren't 3 years old listening to NWA. We was 13. So that means there was a foundation already set and already laid. However, those children that were exposed to NWA and gangster rap at 2, 3 years old, it fucked up their mind. Because those kids in the late 80s, you fast forward 10 years and go into the mid to late 90s and look at what it did. And it wasn't even as prevalent as it was then as it is now. There were other options back then. There was true hip hop back then. You weren't just exposed to one type of hip hop music. You were exposed to several. You had your Tribe Called Quest. You had your KRS-Ones. You had your Nas. You had your Diggable Planets. You had your Fugees. You had all of these different types of rappers. You had your Pete Rock and CL Smooth. You had your Gang Stars. So there was a true smorgasbord of different rappers and different rap styles. You had your b-boy music. You had your breaking music. You had those different types. It wasn't just all drill, right? You had your Public Enemies. And I'm talking about, this is before your Outkast and all of the South and all of them had they run. You had so many different types. Your digital underground. I mean, you can go on and on. When you talking about the late 80s and the mid to late 90s, the different types of rap that was out, rap music that was out, it wasn't until around 97 or 98 when it just all went straight gangster. If you ain't talking about killing nobody, you ain't getting no deal. If you ain't talking about killing nobody, you ain't talking about fucking a bunch of people, and you ain't talking about gyrating and shaking your ass, you ain't getting no deal. That didn't occur until like around 97 is when that basically started to switch. 96, 97 is when it started to be, no, it's this or nothing. So it's like when you can see there were different options, what that means is you were exposed to different things, not just one. So therefore, you could then choose. You had a choice. You actually had a choice. And it's like that matters when it comes to who you decide to become as a person, your moral compass, all of those type of things.
That was pervasively available in Germany.
So here's what I'm getting. There is something about black subculture in America today that holds African Americans themselves back?
Yes. In fact, I went into this in a previous book on which about black rednecks and white liberals, because that same subculture.
Let's talk about two of your books here. Go ahead.
Because that very same subculture held whites in the South back as well. That in the time this mental testing in the First World War turned up, among other things, the fact that whites from various 4 or 5 southern states scored lower on the mental test than blacks from 4 or 5 northern states. And so it really was a question of the subculture that was there, which was a handicap to both.
Boom, another fact. And you know what I just thought about? Why is Thomas Sowell only being interviewed by pretty much white folks? How come he's not on Oprah? How come he's not being interviewed on BT? How come he's not being interviewed on Revolt TV? How come he don't have a show on Revolt? Black Network, right? How is it that there are more love and hip hops? How come he's not on Tyler Perry's network? That's pretty much OWN. OWN is pretty much Tyler Perry network. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. How come nobody's black? How come Gail ain't having a conversation with Thomas Sowell? It's the Wall Street Journal. He ain't on Jet, Ebony. Nope. He ain't even made it to The View. All I'm saying is we have the people that we should be listening to, the minds we should be paying attention to. They are not even promoted by us. How come Thomas Sowell hasn't gone on a black church tour? Huh? Just saying. Just saying. How come somebody like that isn't at the forefront of black culture? How come there's no Joe Bidens? How come there are no Nancy Pelosi's? How come there are no political figures trying to talk to this person to get his endorsement? He ain't on D.L. Hughley's show. Nope. Think of every black person that got their own show. Why this man ain't on there? Why Ben Carson ain't on there? But we can find Ben Crump. Fuck Ben Carson, nigga. We fuck with Ben Crump. Just saying.
All right. And so whose job is it to say, wrong subculture, folks, you're harming yourselves?
Well, I would think in an ideal world that intellectuals might take on that task, but the world that we live in, I've noticed, is not ideal.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Hey, UFO said you won't catch him at Diddy party, right? You ain't gonna catch him at Diddy house. I tell you that. Just saying.
What is to be done? Take a look at President Lyndon Johnson speaking at Howard University in 1965.
Oh, yes.
But freedom is not enough.
Wow. Look at that. Where's he at? Where's he at? Howard University, June 4th, 1965. 1965. So you got two presidents that done spoke at Howard University, at least. I want to say Bill Clinton did it too. I really want to say that.
You do not wipe away the scars of centuries by saying now, you are free to go where you want and do as you desire and choose the leaders you please. You do not take a person who for years has been hobbled by chains and liberate him, bringing up to the starting line of a race, and then say, you are free to compete with all the others, and still justly believe that you have been completely fair.
It's pathetic. It's not a question of, there's no you who has the control to be completely fair or completely unfair. I mean, the circumstances are, so someone once criticized the mental tests on grounds that the tests were unfair. And I think it was David Reisman who said, the tests are not unfair. Life is unfair. And
Wow. How about that part? Life is unfair. I tell people this all the time, especially when we're talking about just guns and Second Amendment and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, why people, especially when I'm making when I'm debating about people who think it should just be one of those things where nobody should have guns. The world isn't a safe place. The world isn't a nice place. So why should you not be prepared to protect yourself against a place that is not only unsafe, but is not nice? And just like he said, life ain't fair. It's just not. And the very thing that you need to be able to do is to be able to survive and learn how to survive. You have to be able to persevere through life's challenges, the things that go on, good or bad. Good and bad, I should say. You have to be able to persevere through those things and make it through and survive. Because if you can't, you won't. Biden took away the guaranteed money for HBCUs. Oh, they don't want to talk about that. That Trump put in place for 10 years. Biden made them have to come and ask for it every year. Yes. Meanwhile, we done sent $200 billion over to Ukraine. But nigga schools can't even have a consistent flow of money. Huh? Exactly. And I'll take it one step further because, like I said, these HBCUs, they stealing too much of the money. I would only make it to where they can only basically come through and improve those areas. I wouldn't even give them money. You know how they say sometimes you can't give people, you give certain people large sums of money or a lump sum of money and they'll waste it or they'll hurt themselves spending it. I'll go that far to say that. I would be like, the only thing you can do is you better get a quote, get a bid in for these particular improvements you want to make on your schools, and the government will cut the check to that company to do that work. But giving y'all motherfuckers the money to do what's best, I wouldn't trust them. Nope. They steal too much of it.
tests are measuring the results. But who has control of life? Who has control of the past? Who has control of the culture that people have in the present, which they've inherited from the past?
So Lyndon Johnson, in fact, although good liberal that he was, at least in regard, Lyndon Johnson had a complicated career and changed positions on issues many times. But good liberal though he was at that moment, he was in fact engaging in a breathtaking arrogance
Yes.
Yep.
on two counts. One,
Listen to this.
white people were the ones who were responsible for where black people stood in the race, that it was up to whites entirely. That blacks, as he described, I'm putting this to you,
devastating.
black people are
devastating.
passive, they're acted upon.
That's right. That's right.
And then the second act
Yep.
of arrogance is the supposition that somehow the federal government could fix it.
Yes.
And that in itself is the mentality of most liberals and Democrats. They have this thing, especially the politicians. They have an elitist attitude that think that they know what's best for everyone, not just black folks, but for everyone. And they should be the ones making the decisions for all of us because they're better people. Yep. He said 70 to 90% of lottery winners are bankrupt within a presidential election cycle. Yes, that's true. Y'all just keep praying that I win the lottery. Y'all keep praying that I win the Mega Millions so I can change the world. Let me get a hold of $500 million. Let me hit that Mega Millions. Hell, let me get a hold of $100 million. Change the world. Y'all pray for that. Yup, I said it. Pray for Brian to win the lottery. The big one. Mega Millions. But just win over $100 million. Let's go. At least.
It is staggering. But if you wanted to be charitable, you could say, well, he said this in 1965. But if you say, all right, why are people now repeating it in 2013 when we've had nearly half a century of experience to the contrary? And if you look within the...
And if you look at all of that, look at, like he said, for 50 years, we've had the handouts. We've had the free lunches. We've had the, the affirmative action. And what has it done for black folks as a whole? Just saying. What has it done for us? How have we just absolutely just benefited from those handouts? And the answer is it hasn't been us that have benefited as a whole. It's been those chosen few that have benefited from it that choose to race hustle and play the game. That's it. Those ones that are consistent and just hell bent on keeping us where we at, talking about the white man this and the white man that and everything is racist and it's the systemic racism and the system that's keeping us back. Those people that perpetuate that propaganda and that keep pushing that propaganda, those are the ones that benefit. Just saying.
Black community, those blacks who had escaped what I call the black redneck culture, they've moved on. So, but it's the culture the different parts of the black community had. They were different.
Daniel Patrick Moynihan, in his famous 1965
And see, these are the things that it's like, I don't understand this part about us. So Blexit said the political right is still attacking black culture and people. He's asking the question. The political right is still attacking black culture and people. Haven't they learned that this isn't the way to win elections? This has been an orchestrated plan since Ronald Reagan. All I'm saying is, okay, I'm going to go ahead and read this other part. Welfare. It's 2023 and the political right is still dwelling on welfare. They don't even know why blacks vote Democrat, and it doesn't even have anything to do with welfare either. They don't know us. Here's what I'm going to say, because I know these niggas. I got my motherfucking PhD in nigga. Black folks don't even know why they still voting Democrat. So you explain that part. It's like we say things and we make statements that are just hot phrases. The political right is still attacking black culture and people. What the fuck does that part mean? And it's like, those are the things that when you say, well, elaborate on that or make the statement plain and clear, since you are typing, to where it's a just factual statement as opposed to painting with a broad brush and then coming back saying they still dwelling on welfare. If you don't think welfare is a problem, I don't know what to tell you. Being a black person, if you don't think welfare is a problem for us as black folks, I really don't know what to say. What welfare is today and what it was initially started out to be and what it has become, it is in no shape, form, or fashion it's not helping us. I'll say that. Anytime you have generational welfare queens, when you have black women that have sat back on welfare for years and generations and still ain't gotten better, when you have white folks that are welfare queens and have sat back and literally done nothing for generations, you tell me. The bulk of black middle class was created via unions, and the Democrats were seen as pro-union. Also, Democrats were more socially conservative than today, and by that nature, blacks are conservative. Okay. I'll play. The bulk of black middle class was created via unions. Why? Because most blacks got factory jobs. Do we know when that took place? That was in the Industrial Revolution. And that was predominantly a northern thing. Ford, GM, Chrysler, stockyards, steel mills. Pro-union, it wasn't even about being pro-union. It was about just getting the job. Once the unions came, the unions did what? They turned into monsters. I get it. However, what the unions were then and what the unions are today, it is not the same. However, be that as it may, why is it that black folks still have not changed? Because if black folks are so-called conservative by nature, then their very nature would have shown them that what the Democratic plantation has become is not what they align with. You tell me the last time that a union played a part in black folks voting. I'll wait. This nigga said. This nigga. This is the shit I be talking about. This is it. This is exactly what I be talking about. So he then comes back and he says, black baby boomers, which are pretty much dying off right now. The majority of baby boomers are dying off now because the baby boomers are now 80 boomers. But he's saying that black baby boomers are the largest black voter bloc. That's not true. Baby boomers are dying. And then he says they are just stuck in a time warp. What the fuck does that mean?
It doesn't matter what you think.
What the fuck does that mean? How is that even an excuse to say they are just stuck in a time warp? These are the things that I'm talking about when I say we say things and they're not well thought out. We just say them to either just be, we say them as a popular or hot item, or shout out to Paul. Thank you so much for the donation, bro. Appreciate it. Or we say it as an excuse. Oh, black folks don't get married no more, because are we stuck in a time warp? Is that the reason why black folks don't get married no more? Huh? Time warp? Okay, let's keep going. The black on black crimes in our major cities. Is that a time warp? Huh? Let's keep going. Let's talk about how all of these politically ran black cities, when niggas are in charge of the politics, how they literally do nothing for the people, and the people there are fucking literally suffering. Is that because they stuck in a time warp? Black baby boomers view today's Democrat Party as the Democrat Party of the 80s and 90s, and the younger generations are disenchanted. They stuck in a time warp too? Is that what we saying? So that's the reason for all the nigga fuck ups, all the shit that niggas ain't doing today. It is because, based on that logic, they stuck in a time warp. Sexy Red, who has an album out called Pound Town, who talks about her pussy is pink and her booty hole is brown. The reason why she came out with that song is because she's stuck in a time warp. Huh? There we go. So that is the answer to the disparaging black culture today. King Von, Pop Smoke, Lil Durk, all of these niggas that's out here with this drill music, it's because they too are stuck in a time warp. That's the answer. Everything that's going wrong with niggas today, it's a time warp. They're stuck in it. That's the cure-all. Time warp. I know. I mean that I never knew that. I'm just not well versed in time travel. Therefore, I know nothing of time warp, warp cores, warp machines. I don't know anything about that. But we can just chalk all this stupid shit up. All of the things that black folks have not acted upon, all of the things that black folks have not changed for a millennia, we can all chalk it up to them still being trapped in a time warp. He says that she a baby boomer right now. It ain't got nothing to do with the baby boomers. It ain't just the baby boomers that's fucking shit up. It's everybody. What is a baby boomer that is voting Democrat, and I don't know, Cardi B who's telling niggas to vote Democrat? What's the difference? What would be the difference? If you're saying that the baby boomers are voting Democrat to this day because they stuck in a time warp, what would that go to say for all of the other ones, all the other black folks that's still voting Democrat? Right. We need Doc Brown to come fix these fucking DeLoreans so these niggas can get back to the future. Gotta get back in time. We find too many excuses for the fuck shit that we don't do. I mean, for the fuck shit that we do, and the fact that we won't correct shit, we always have an excuse. It's everything else, everyone else, or it's something else's fault besides our own as to why we are fucked up. And that's just one of and the only reason why I'm pointing that out is because that's what that is. Do Republicans even campaign in black communities? Do they make seen heard, and known. Do Democrats? When's the last time you seen a When's the last motherfucker Joe Biden stayed in a basement for fucking 2 years and he won? Fuck you talking about? See what I mean? Just saying shit. Have you ever seen Joe Biden in the hood? In his fucking 50 years in fucking politics. Have you ever seen Joe Biden in the hood? Have you ever seen Nancy Pelosi in the hood? Have you ever seen any non-black politician that is a Democrat in the hood? What up, Tony? No, you haven't.
Report entitled, "The Negro Family, the Case for National Action," close quote. Longish quotation, but it gets to something, I believe. Moynihan, "The fundamental problem is that of family structure. The Negro family in the urban ghettos is crumbling. A middle class has managed
Wrong. It is not crumbling. It has crumbled.
to save itself, but for vast numbers of the unskilled and poorly educated, the fabric of conventional social relationships has all but disintegrated. So long as this situation persists, the cycle of poverty and disadvantage will continue to repeat itself," close quote. When Moynihan wrote those words, the illegitimacy rate among African Americans was 25%. Today, the illegitimacy rate among white Americans is 36%. Among Hispanics, more than 50%, and among African Americans, more than 70%.
Yes.
Boom.
Aside from throwing up your hands in despair, what is to be done?
The first thing to be done is to understand that this was a result of policies begun in the 1960s. This is not a legacy of what happened 100 years before the 1960s.
The breakdown of the black family is not a legacy of slavery.
No, if you the classic study of this goes all the way back to the era of slavery, and they find that most black kids, even under slavery, had lived with two parents, and that was true all the way up until the 1960s.
You don't have to be in a time warp to get that part. You don't have to be in a time warp to understand that. And that goes back to, if it ain't no mothers and fathers in the neighborhood, in the community or the communita, then who is? Single black mothers. They're raising these children. And we can clearly see how well they've done that with being on their own and being on welfare. That's why we should still be on that. That's why we should still be talking about that. They go hand in hand.
And so if you
give an unqualified person a bunch of fucking money to fucking do what? Raise a generation? Yeah, well, we see what that's done.
really want to find out what's changed, it has changed since the 1960s. And the fact that whites now have a higher rate of illegitimacy than blacks had when Moynihan wrote suggests that this is something that spreads out. But if you look at something else, if you look at those blacks, look at black husband-wife families, the poverty rate among such families has been in single digits every year since 1994. And so if you look at the external causes, why the husband and wife families and the welfare single mom families all are facing the same society and objective things, but the results are radically different because the cultures and values are different.
Here we go. I knew it was gonna come sooner or later. I talk to black people and not niggas, so we just can't relate. I never left the black community. Blacks are conservative. We just have no political home and a bunch of propaganda against us. Here's the thing. Blacks are conservative. That has nothing to do with how they vote, though, does it? Hmm.
Bing bang.
What does being a black conservative have to do with how you fucking vote? Blacks are conservative, but what? They have the most abortions out of everybody. Blacks are conservative, but what? They have the highest illegitimate childbirth rate than anyone else. Blacks are conservative. However, black women only get married at a clip of 24%. Blacks are conservative. However, black women file for divorce 70% of the time of the 24% that do get married. Blacks are conservative. However, they lead at being single mothers. Fuck that got to do with how they're voting. How you living and how you voting? What are we talking about here? There is no credit. That I loathe when people say this. Republicans need to get it together and give us credit. Credit is not given, it is earned. Just like trust. Credit is like trust. It is earned. I don't just trust a motherfucker I don't know. They have to earn my trust. You don't just get credit because you showed the fuck up. You have to earn your credit by doing the work. Give us credit for being the only ones in America leading the anti-illegal movement. I don't even know what that is, bro. What is the anti-illegal movement? We built America. We already earned it. We built it because a white man cracked a whip and told us to. We were the labor force. We didn't think of this shit. What does that still mean, though? And this is where we are. This is the time loop that we're stuck in. We can't get out of this cycle. And this is the shit that hurts us, because this is what you would call black intelligentsia. This is what you would call the high thinking blacks. This is what you would call the black folks that's supposed to be leading us in the community. This is how they're thinking. I ain't praising white folks either. I'm just telling you the fucking truth. Niggas did not come over here and build America on their own. They built it under the whip of white people. Facts. I don't have that problem or level of self-hate. I don't know what the fuck that has to do. Where's the self-hate? And acknowledging the fucking truth? Did niggas freely come over here and build America? No. Fuck is you talking about? They were bought and they were bred here. What? I don't get it. That's the harsh reality. It ain't about praising white folks. You brought that shit up. Giving us credit. You're the same person who says he don't praise white people is the same person who just said, I want white people to give us credit for leading the anti-illegal movement, which we still don't know what the fuck that is. Can I Google that? I'll be willing to Google that. The matter of fact, let me try. Let me try to educate myself. Let me do that. Anti-illegal movement. Anti-illegal movement. Let's see what comes up with that. Movement against illegal immigration. Is that what you talking about? That can't be what you're talking about, bro. That can't be. I hope that's not what you're talking about. I really do. Because niggas didn't jump on the anti-immigrant or illegal immigrant movement, if that's what you're referring to. Niggas didn't jump on that until they started putting these niggas in these sanctuary cities. They started putting the Mexicans in these niggas cities, in these niggas communities. That's when niggas started saying, hey, wait a minute, all these goddamn Mexicans around here. That's when niggas started getting concerned about this shit. Other than that, niggas have been, for years, black and brown together. Black and brown moving together. Yeah. The anti-illegal movement was not headed by them. Just saying. Akuzuma said we need these illegal black people don't want to work. Yeah, well, neither do you, Akuzuma. I can be with you on that. They ain't got shit to do with these motherfuckers being up over here fucking up the program. Like NWA. Right. Black folks started using that black and brown together shit. Fuck out of here. Shit makes no fucking sense. He says, I'm working right now. It ain't about working. It's about these, because these motherfuckers over here ain't working. You go look at them, and here's the facts, nigga. Let's deal with just that. You go take your ass to Chicago and look at that sanctuary city. You gonna see a bunch of Mexicans laying up in police stations, a bunch of Mexicans laying up in newly opened schools, a bunch of Mexicans laying up in warehouses. They ain't doing shit. A bunch of Mexicans on the streets begging for money. That's what they doing now. They ain't working. And that's facts. Ride your ass through a sanctuary city, and that's what you gonna see. A bunch of fucking tents and motherfucking Mexicans laying the fuck up, talking about, give me. That's what the reality is. So I get it. I don't know if you're just trying to be funny about niggas not wanting to work, but that's just what it is. I'm just saying, with what we're talking about here in the discussion of just saying what white folks got to do with black folks doing for black folks, I don't get that. Because black folks ain't even doing what black folks could be doing for black folks. Let me say that again. We want to talk and complain about what white folks ain't doing for black folks. However, we got black folks that ain't doing shit for black folks. What black folks could be doing for black folks ain't even doing for black folks. Why the fuck are we still concerning ourselves with what white folks gonna do for black folks when we ain't even concerned ourselves with what black folks gonna do for black folks? Mexicans ain't hitting no shit neither, but Mexicans at least know how to stick to fucking together. True. I just did a show about that. Like that black dude said on the show. Within a generation, the black vote will be null and void. Basically means you have no political base, which basically means you have no say in shit that go on, which basically believes you ain't got a say, you ain't got a motherfucking nothing in this country. Just saying. Yep. Like he said, 20 Mexicans in one house and they all figuring it out. You put two black folks in a house, one of them will be dead in a year. That's a lie, but it's true. Just saying.
So you would you would roll back welfare. I guess that's the principal policy. Okay, so what would Tom Sowell do? One, you'd eliminate welfare, you'd reform welfare. What would you do?
Roll it back.
All right. And what about affirmative action?
Eliminate it.
Just gone.
Yeah.
Colorblind
Yeah.
policy completely. All right. What prospect for that do you see?
Those two right there. No more welfare, no more affirmative action. What is that going to do? It's going to make black folks, it's going to force black folks to be more responsible for themselves. Here's what I'm saying, and I've said this about for welfare for years. You don't just cut welfare off. Just in my opinion, in the humanity of it. You don't just cut it off and say, today is the last day for welfare checks. But what the fuck y'all gonna do next month? Because it's gonna cause panic and it's gonna cause a crime wave probably that ain't never been seen before. When niggas stop getting that free money, niggas is gonna lose their mind. But what you do is you come up with an amount that you will get for the children that you have, because what they get now is too goddamn much. It ain't about what you get per kid. It's about what you get up to a certain kid number. So a motherfucker that got 5 kids and a motherfucker that got 12 kids, you get the same amount as them 5 kids get. That's first things first. You can cut back on it that way. And what people go say is, what you gonna do, starve the kids? And nope. I'm going to make the fucking parents work. The next thing you do is you say, hey, every child born, just like now, before 12/01, January 1. Or you say, nope, that's not what I said. I said you go from when you're going to cut it, from that date, you go out 9 months. So I would then say, every child that is born, like right now, since we're about to hit January, I would say everybody that's pregnant 9 months out, September 30th. If your child is born before September 30th, you will get and be eligible for welfare benefits, Section 8, all that shit. I'm going to get to Section 8, but you would be eligible. Anybody that's fucking in January and in February, you get pregnant, please know that you will get a 1 and 5 fucking deal. And what that is this. You will not get money. You will only get food. And not the food you want. You will get rations. So basically like how we used to get government cheese, powdered milk, rice, peanut butter, what was that? Was it like a ham or spam in that pork in a can? You would get that. You would get a box of that every month to eat off of. Get you some beans and all that kind of shit. That's what you get. You get a ration box. All right? And basically what you do for that will be you getting something to be able to survive. Everything else you do, you got to get it on your own. You got to get a job and all that kind of shit. As far as housing, yes, you will be able to get subsidized housing only in government-owned facilities. So basically, we got a building or whatever the case may be, and you only get to stay there for 4 years. Because by the time your kid gets to be 3, your kid should be in school. And by the time that kid hits 5 and be ready to start school full time, your ass should be getting off. Well, so by the time the kid starts kindergarten. So from the time the kid is born to the time the kid starts kindergarten, that's it. You're on your own, like Patti LaBelle. Yup. Like L.A. Thorne said, you will get military MREs. Basically, food that we can give our soldiers, we can get to your ass. You get that basic bulk shit, get you motherfucking 30 MREs, whatever the fuck, however the fuck you figure that shit out. That's what they get every month. Yep. I wouldn't bring back the projects, but I would bring back the housing projects. I would bring back smaller developments because you put too many niggas on top of niggas, it's too problematic. That was the problem with the projects, was that the developments were too big and there's too many niggas on top of each other. Can't have that. You gotta have pockets. Have your, 10 or 15 unit, 20 unit here, or 20 unit there, scattered throughout, to where a motherfucker can't sit up and start a fucking empire with a 80 unit building. Nope. 110 units in a motherfucking, nope, that's too problematic. So that's how that would work. But it's for a limited time. It's not nearly as much money. And the food aspect of it is not going to be where you get to just go and buy lobster and motherfucking shrimp and crab and shit and feed it to your dog like these motherfuckers be doing on welfare now. Nope. You get your box of rations, your MREs, your basic joints. You want to cook something, figure it out. Because what that's going to do, it's going to make you go and it's going to make you go work. It's going to make you go out into the world and earn a living. That's it. That's what I would do. That's how you would fix it, as far as from the welfare perspective. You cut that shit, and then you would look and think, by the time your welfare benefits cut off, at the time you 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, nope. Right, JB? You could do some tiny houses. You could do literally, and if your ass have 2 kids, ain't got shit to do with us. You get provisions for 1. You can get pregnant if you want to, bitch. You can let that nigga knock you up if you want to. Nope. Nope. Don't have nothing to do with that. We'll give you 1 mistake. We'll give you 1 slip up. We'll give you 1 oops, baby. But you can't sit there and he said, and the kids can't pick up the rations either. The parents need to come and get it. Make them get off their ass. Exactly. No cow pop, he said in the Rumble chat. But I'm just saying, that's how you would do it. You have to put that responsibility back on the parent or parents. Because what that's going to do, that's going to make women stop having these babies. They going to still be fucking, because that's inevitable, but they going to stop letting these niggas knock them up. They're going to stop having these babies for benefits. They're going to stop it. That's what they're going to do. And then I would want to reform fucking child support too, but that's a whole nother, also a different color, whole nother conversation. But yes, that's what I would do. That's what I would do.
See.
None.
No black leader of any standing. I'm talking about a political leader as opposed to an intellectual such as yourself. You've got, there's you, there's Walter Williams. Do you get the sense that there's a growing generation, a rising generation of African-American intellectuals who say, enough of this, I'm with Tom Sowell?
Well, I don't know if they'll go that far. There's no point.
That would be asking a lot.
There's no point being reckless. But I think there are people like Shelby Steele and many others, Larry Elder. You can run through a long list, and there are more such people now than there were, say, in the 1970s. But in terms of political leaders, all the incentives politically are for black leaders to blame all problems in the black community on the larger society, and that enables them to take on the role of being the defender of the black community against enemies.
Hey, the immigrant said that's insane to humanity and child abuse. Here's my question. What are they doing in other countries? What are they doing in Zimbabwe, Nigeria? What are they doing in these third world countries that don't have these resources? there has to be a line drawn in the sand. The immigrants, there has to be a line drawn in the sand to where there's responsibility. Has to happen, has to take place, because we've been going this route since the 60s, and look at what it's done for us. Like I said early in the show, the world is not a nice place. The world is not a safe place. And we have to not only prepare and adjust ourselves accordingly for that, but we have to also survive it. And that comes with being responsible for yourself. It's child abuse to bring a fatherless child into this world. It's child abuse to bring a child into a world that's being raised by another child. It's inhumane for the children to live in the conditions that they live in the hood today. You can't say amen, say ouch. To let a child grow up in Inglewood, the Wild Hundreds, today, it is child abuse. But you wouldn't know that. Or did you grow up in that same community? Just saying. If you can say that you grew up in one of these neighborhoods, in the hood, the real hood, and you think this shit that these kids are going through now ain't child abuse, I don't know what is child abuse then. I've been in the school system where kids come to school hungry, where the last meal they had was the last one they had at school at 1 o'clock that day before. That ain't child abuse? Where your mama sell off all of your food stamps for cash so she can get high? So ain't no food in the house? So the only time you eat is when you go to school because of free lunch? And if you don't go to school, you don't eat, which is why dumb kids even come to school? What do you do on the weekends? I can't tell you how many times I've seen little kids, I'm talking elementary school kids, put food in their book bags at lunch. I've helped them. Fuck the rules. As a man, I'm not gonna let no kid go home on a Friday knowing that they ain't gonna have nothing to eat. I remember being at the school when I was working at the school as an instructional assistant. I remember the fucking lunchroom cooking extra food on the weekend, on that Friday, or on those days where they know we're about to have a 3-day weekend, because we know we got to take the food and put it in clear garbage bags to put it by the garbage can, because you can't give it to them right there in the lunchroom or inside the school. They got to get it by the garbage can. So we wouldn't put it in the trash bin. We would put it next to it. We would put it next to it because that way they could just get the food and wouldn't have to dig through the garbage, and they can get it fast so that the other kids won't make fun of them. I remember bringing the jewel bags, or the plastic bags. That's what we call them, jewel bags in Chicago. Bringing the plastic bags so the kids can put the food in there, so they're not carrying a big dumbass clear plastic bag down the street that everybody can see what's in it and talk about them while they going home. Because them kids gonna eat. or seeing the parent come up there, seeing the mama come up there, seeing the daddy having to come up there. So then you would let them get it out the clear bag, get them a black bag to put it in so couldn't nobody see it. So then they'll know what's what, and then they can take it home so that they can eat. Because if they don't eat. And yes, JB, feeding them during the summer. Thank you. We send our kids home with backpacks full of food every Friday. Tell me stop me when I'm lying. I know what the fuck I'm talking about because I did it. I was there. I witnessed it. I helped them do it. That's the shit that motherfuckers don't talk about. That's the shit that motherfuckers don't realize what's happening in the black community. I know what the fuck it's like to deal with kids that got an attitude and angry and will fuck you up and fight you in the morning because they hungry, not because they bad kids. See, that's the shit y'all motherfuckers can't conceive because y'all ain't lived in that shit. You can't conceive that. You can't conceive the first thing you see when a kid is acting out. You don't think to ask a kid. You know the first two things I think about a kid? When I see a kid wilding out, acting up, being disorderly, being disruptive, not doing what the fuck they supposed to do, ready to fight, wanting to fuck somebody up, two things come to my mind. And you tell me if I'm lying, JB. Have they eaten and have they slept? Have they eaten and have they slept? You don't know how many kids don't get to sleep at night. And y'all motherfuckers know I hate talking about this because the shit chokes me up. But y'all motherfuckers don't know how many kids don't motherfucking get to sleep at night. Because if they do go to sleep, they just might get fucked. And I'm talking kids. Kids that can't fucking go to sleep at night because there's dope fiends running in and out of their house all night. Because they mama house is the get high spot. Not the dope spot, the get high spot. Who the fuck gonna look out for me and my motherfucking brothers and sisters if my mama in a motherfucking heroin nod? What the fuck does a 10-year-old do when he got 4 other brothers and sisters that have to go to sleep because they kids? He 10. The other little kids is 4, 5, 3, 2. He can't go to sleep because if he do, somebody might not fuck him or touch him, or they might, but they might touch his sister too. And he know it. We ain't gonna even talk about the gunshots you hear at night and how traumatizing that shit is until you get desensitized by it. So y'all motherfuckers want to talk about child abuse? Motherfucker, that's child abuse. Fuck what you talking about. So when you think about a motherfucking kid that's acting up, you think, oh, it's because the kid got this, or the kid ADD, the kid ADHD, the kid. Nope, that motherfucker hungry. Hey man, come on in here. I can't tell you how many times I've taken a motherfucking 4th grader and say, come on, and brought him into the classroom with my kids who were fucking preschool, Head Start age, and say, come on and sit down with the little kids, man, and eat some breakfast. Can't tell you that. Come on, man, sit down. Come on in here. Have a seat, man. Chill with the kids, man. Sit right there. No problem. No motherfucking issue, no wilding out, no hitting no kids, no cooling out. Why? Because the motherfucker's hungry. Eat as much as you want, kid. Don't worry about it. You good. Now go and take your ass to class. Don't act up and come to class. Your teacher gonna let you leave 10 minutes before y'all leave out. You come see me. before you go get your brothers and sisters, you come see me. I'm gonna have a bag for you, have a package for you. That's the shit that y'all motherfuckers don't see. That's the shit that y'all motherfuckers don't talk about. That's the shit y'all motherfuckers don't know about. And I'm telling you like this. Welfare is a fucking crutch, and it knocks us to our knees. Because when you think you're going to get it for free, you ain't going to never go get it for yourself. And I need to stop before I start crying.
Which in turn creates the situation in which many blacks don't feel that anything that they do is going to help themselves unless it's done politically as a group. That there's no point. I mean, why would you, if you believe what they say, why would you want to knock yourself out in school knowing that the man is not going to let you get anywhere? One of the most pathetic things I heard in recent years was a young black man saying that, at one point he thought he would join the Air Force and become a pilot. And then he says he realized that the white man is not going to let a black man become a pilot. And he was saying this decades after the Tennessee Airmen had established their reputation in combat in Europe.
That's race hustling. Black folks can't become pilots. What the fuck was the Tuskegee Airmen doing then? Driving buses? Just saying. What the fuck are they doing? What the fuck did they do? You mean to tell me you think, and this is the shit that really fucking makes a big... This is the problem with us. Because you'll have motherfuckers who think they can't do that very thing. I can't be no pilot. Ain't gonna let no black man be no pilot. Fuck you mean you can't? What's stopping you? Taking your punk ass to school? They get rid of affirmative action. We can't be pilots no more. Man, look. You don't get the fuck out of my face on the internet. Chris says not gonna fight in the white man's army. Chris, let me tell you something, man. My dumb ass, when I was fucking 17, getting recruited by the military, and I just was stupid. I didn't know. I was unaware. And it's like, when you look at the black community, and I'll say this as far as just what black folks, you talking about fixing shit like today, like I just talked about the welfare shit, we're talking about fixing shit today. These young people, these young dumb motherfuckers that ain't been in school, all of them. And hear me when I say this, young folks, all of y'all need to go to the military. All you niggas in the hood, broke, ain't got no money, ain't got nothing going for yourself, ain't been to school, can barely read, can't count, can't add, can't subtract. All of y'all, if you want to survive in this world, y'all all need to go into the military. So they can teach your ass how to teach you some basic life skills. You can earn an honest wage. You can actually have a career in the military, or you can learn some transferable skills that can allow you to come out into the world and actually become a productive citizen. Yes, you might get in a war and you might die. Same thing might happen in the fucking hundreds. Same thing might happen in Inglewood. Same thing might happen in that same fucking hood you in right now. But at least this way you have a chance to learn something, and you also have a chance to actually become something that is greater than yourself. Yes, I tell them all, men and women alike. Take your young 17-year-old ass and enlist. You ain't got shit. Your mama a crackhead, your daddy a crackhead, your daddy locked up, your mama dead, your daddy dead. You ain't got shit. Your granny is the only motherfucker that's left and she 94. Take your punk ass to the military. Go do at least 4 years. Because when you get out, you can get your college paid for to do something. You can stay in there and become a career fucking soldier, and you can learn something, get a skill, become a lieutenant, become a sergeant, become a fucking admiral. I don't give a fuck. And I would recommend this, and let me just give you the key to the matrix, because I love my black people. Go into the Air Force in this order: Air Force, Navy, Marines. Well, no, I'm sorry. Air Force, Navy, Marines, then Army. And then if you can't make it to none of them, go to the National Guard. You got 5 choices. Just saying. And when you go into the military, try to get a skill that is transferable, like carpentry, plumbing, mechanic, HVAC, whatever the fuck it is. Learn something that you can take out away from that place and go and do somewhere else in the world, or stay in that place and do your, is it 20 years before you get to retire? I think it's 20 years. I think if you do 20 years, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, because y'all can see I clearly did not serve. But I believe that if you do 20 years, then you can retire in the military, full benefits. And yes, some of y'all motherfuckers might die in a war. But I'm telling you like this, your chances of surviving there is way better than surviving in the motherfucking hood. I was born in the military in the basic. It is 20 years, thank you. Okay. Till my mother left my father. I haven't left my father. Okay, I got you, Billy Goat. John Costello said, rehab fam, never told a lie. Just saying. Get your ass somewhere where you can go and earn a living and learn something. Just saying. This is almost finished.
You know, but the hopelessness is one of the big products of the race industry. That you have no chance. I remember giving a talk at Marquette, and at the end of the talk, among the questions that was asked, a young black man got up and he said, "Even though I am graduating from Marquette University, what hope is there for me?" And having gone through college when I was in the 50s, I don't remember any blacks saying that in the 1950s. When there was a lot more obstacles to overcome than there were when this guy is graduating from Marquette. But you have to produce that kind of feeling in order to serve the interests of those in the race industry.
Final question then. Maybe we can think in terms of that young man at Marquette. Or let's put it this way. Somewhere watching this interview, there's a young Thomas Sowell. There's an African American who's smart and wants to do something with his life. It seems to me we've already got one piece of advice you'd offer to him is stay away from the races industry. Stay away from the what advice
race hustlers.
What advice would you give a young Thomas Sowell? How do you make something of yourself as an African American in America today?
The way anybody else would. You equip yourself with skills that people are willing to pay for.
Boom. And that in itself is pretty much what I just said. You equip yourself, basically you learn some shit that motherfuckers are willing to pay for. And here's the thing, there's just certain things in life that people will always need. There's just certain things like, I don't know, doctor, lawyer. And like I said, if you're not even that academically inclined, then you learn those other skills where you use your hands, or basically a trade like plumber. Y'all know most motherfucking plumbers, and just keeping it a buck. Do y'all know that really most plumbers make at least 6 figures? Most plumbers make at least 6 figures. Most electricians make at least 6 figures. At least. Get yourself in the pipe fitters union and see how much fucking money you can make. Those are the kinds of things that we miss out on because we just don't fucking know. And we think that there's no hope for us. We think that there's no way they ain't gonna let us do that. Man, please. There is nothing. And I keep saying this. There is nothing in this world today that black folks do not have access to because of their color. Just saying. But like he said, you want to get ahead in this world, go and get yourself a skill. Equip yourself with a skill that people are willing to pay for. Dentist, doctor, lawyer. No, it ain't trading and coding. Dentist, doctor, lawyer, carpenter, plumber, electrician, mechanic. Especially now, man, mechanics can't keep them up. They can't. Look here. The way that the cost of cars have gone through the fucking roof. Y'all know there's only one car that is under $20,000 and it is like 19,000 or some shit like that. There's one. There's not a car being made today that is brand new. There's not a brand new car that is available for less than $20,000. There's only one. Just saying. Those are the kind of things that you want to even when you're talking about law enforcement from the government aspect of it, hey man, it's something where you can earn a decent wage to where you like, okay, I can do this. Truck driver. Shout out to all my truckers out there. Even though the trucking industry is going through a dip now, just because of the economy and shit, it's still a transferable skill that's going to be needed no matter what. Shit moves via trucks. No Cow Poppy says, I know a guy installing windows making $100,000 a year, ain't had one day of college. There it is. IT and cybersecurity. Be very careful when you're talking like that. When you say IT is a very broad spectrum. More so focused on like cybersecurity, more so focused on desktop support. Yes. A lot of foreigners got that code and shit on lock. So that's a hard area to break into because they doing it cheaper. People are paying for motherfucking application support and all that kind of shit. And people create applications and all that kind of shit. They paying for that shit for pennies on the dollar in fucking India, over in fucking all of these other foreign countries. They're doing it over there way cheaper. So you ain't going to be able to have and charge top dollar here doing it because everything could be done remotely now. So just keep that in mind. Get you a skill that you can transfer, and there's no place on the planet that can teach you that kind of shit for free other than like the military can. They'll give you some place to stay. They'll give you some food to eat. They'll put clothes on your back. They'll teach you a transferable skill that you can use out in the world. And all the while, once you're doing that, you're serving your country, you're serving the greater good, and you're going to learn some shit. And then when you get out, you will know how to survive. Just saying. I hope that this video helps somebody become a very... I just hope that this will become something that people will start to think and have a conversation and actually make sense and let it sink in to where people will start to say, yes, I need to change what it is that I'm thinking, what it is that I'm going to do. Don't stop going to school to become fucking teachers and shit like that. Teachers don't make no fucking money. Plain and simple. I told my daughter that shit. My mama asked, like, why would you tell her she can't be no teacher? I said, because teachers don't make no goddamn money. Plain and simple. I told my daughter, you want to be a teacher? Go become a doctor, and then you become a doctor that teaches other doctors. Literally, that's what I told her. You will not become a school teacher. Right. And teachers are too goddamn woke these days. But I'm just saying, I'm not going to have my daughter go get a bunch of fucking debt trying to get enough degrees and enough to get her master's and get her PhD and all of that shit. And then she got motherfucking $200,000 in fucking student loans. And then she's going to work a job where she's making $70,000, $80,000 a year. No way. No way. Not going to have her do it. Not going to lead her down that path. Yep. Teachers. We need teachers, but the way our family is set up, we can't afford to have a teacher. Nah, we just can't. Teachers are for women who marry rich men. You want to become a teacher then? Your husband a millionaire? Fine. Go teach. You hit the lottery for 20 million. Now you want to go teach? Fine. Great. More power to you. Not going to have it. Not going to have my daughter to go do that. Break in a bunch of fucking debt and then go and make $48,000 a year. That's stupid. Just saying. Yes, Alex, you are late, and yes, I'm judging you. But it's just what it is. So just keep that shit in mind. We have to get past this idea of thinking that the system and everything in it is against us. And we have to start realizing and say, hey, the things that we can control and the things that we can do, we need to start doing them so that we can actually better ourselves. Because the shit we got going on now in our culture, the music, the videos, the television, not really so much radio anymore, but just those three things in itself, they are destroying us, and they're keeping literally the knee on our neck. Yes, that was a George Floyd reference. Literally. That's what it's doing to us. So every time you hear a motherfucker listening to King Von, every time you hear a motherfucker talking about they smoking on Tuka, every time you hear a motherfucker talking about they pussy pink and they booty hole brown, pound town, yup. Just know that's the George Floyd. That's the what's the dude name? The police officer. That's his knee on our neck. Keep that kind of shit in mind. Think about that. We got to get past this point. Derek Chauvin, thank you so much. You redeemed yourself, Alex. That's the Derek Chauvin of the black community. The drill rap. The Housewives of Atlanta, the Love and Hip Hop New York, the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, the Love and Hip Hop California, LA, the Love and Hip Hop Georgia, the Housewives of Alabama, the Housewives of New York, the Housewives. All of that shit is the Derek Chauvin knee on the neck. Shout out to my man Jermaine. Hit your boy with $10. Appreciate it, bro. So just keep that in mind. Shout out to Thomas Sowell. Salute to you, good sir. Thank everybody for tuning in to the show. Please click the like button. Please, please, please subscribe to the Rumble channel. Like I said, the numbers over there are doing pretty good, but we need to get more subs over there. So go over to the Rumble channel and click the Rumble. The link is in the matter of fact, I'm gonna put the shit over here. Put it over here so you can go sign up. Put it in the damn chat. But yes, please, please, please. Bing bong. Put it over here too. But definitely, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the show. I know that we are winding down the new year. Oh, wait. Wrong one. Undo. Come on, damn it. I know that we're winding down into the new year, getting ready to close out 2023. This is really starting to piss me off that I can't put this damn thing here because this shit is here and it's not letting me actually get to the, let me see if I can just click on it that way. Nope, it won't let me do. Are you fucking kidding me? This is wild. But we're closing out. We got a couple more days left before 2023 is Audi 5000. And hey, I just want to say thank you all. It's been a year. It's been crazy. But hey, we have made it through. We have persevered. And we still got a couple of more days. There we go. It's more than one way to skin a cat. Still got a couple of more days to go before we out of here. But yes, and also, yep, thank you, Alex, for subscribing to the Guru and the Whore channel over on Rumble as well. Shout out to my brother Tommy. He said I recall his house got flooded. Steve, Tommy, go to Rumble, man. Tommy's all over Rumble, Doc. All you gotta do is go to Rumble, type in. Better yet, you ain't even gotta go to Rumble. Go to TJ Sotomayor KOC.com and you can go to his website and you can get to everything that he got going there. Tommy is doing well. God damn it. So trust and believe that. He got plenty going on. But yeah, you can go to his website and you can see everything he got going on, all his shows. He can hit all my links, find out where he's at on social media. Even though they didn't cancel like 13 of his TikToks, he's still there. So yeah, gone over there, man, to his website, and definitely check him out from there, and you should be good to go, brother. But thank you guys. I love y'all. Till next time. Peace, and I'm out. Have a good night. Later.